What is going on, guys? Welcome to the show again. Alex here, and today I have a very special guest. His name is Rob Balasabas from tubebuddy. Now, for those of you who want to dabble with YouTube or have never used YouTube ever, this is definitely the show you want to check out. So Rob shares with us today things like why coaches, entrepreneurs, or even business owners should start a YouTube channel. Then we go into talking about how to build an audience and what do you do if you don't have one. And then we look at how do I know if I'm creating content that people actually want. We're also going to look at keywords, how many videos to upload, and how long your videos should be. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video so you can check out this rapid fire section that I've added to the show where it's super fun. I ask my guests questions that they have to give me the first answer that comes to mind. So I hope you enjoy this episode and you leave with the tools and tips that you need to start your YouTube channel. Enjoy. And here we go. So welcome to the show, Rob Balasabas. Thank you for joining me today. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on your show, Alex. Said my last name like really well, actually. So that's awesome. It's a good start.
Good. So I'm glad we're on the great start here. Connect the dots. It's all about addressing coaches, entrepreneurs, business owners, really build their business. And so before we jump into the questions here, I really want to give the audience an idea of who you are, if that's okay with you.
Sure. Yes.
Excellent. So Rob Balasabas is a brand evangelist at tubebuddy.com. And for those of you who don't know what TubeBuddy is, it's an awesome tool that you need to have if you're going to be a YouTube creator. He himself is a content creator on YouTube. He does tons of stuff. Check it out. I went to see his video this morning and gosh, so much value on that. He covers topics like marketing and creation strategies, live streaming, and many more, just to name a few. And when he's not working, Rob's a husband and a dad, right?
Yep,
he loves to travel. Right. He drinks coffee. He explores new places with his families. Well, so without further ado, welcome to the show, Rob.
Awesome. Thanks, Alex. Really excited to be here and really have this conversation with you. And if you're listening, good to meet you. And yeah, hopefully I can bring some value for you guys today.
Awesome. So without further ado, I just want to jump right in and ask you the question. So why should coaches, entrepreneurs actually jump on this YouTube channel bandwagon?
Yeah, absolutely. Good question. So with YouTube, I mean, YouTube is owned by Google. So, a lot of content out there, there's so many, tutorials and people searching questions and looking for answers on Google and or YouTube. If you are searching for something on Google, most of the time you'll actually get videos from YouTube coming up in your search results. And so if you're a coach, you're a brand, you have a product or service that helps people, with their pain points, whatever that is, right? Then it's awesome. It's an awesome platform to show up in because you are able to reach this. Like, there's so many people already on there that, by injecting your content, your solutions by way of videos, then you can be found organically, right? So for us, we've never paid for ads. We don't do ads on YouTube. It's just strictly organic. And it's been really successful for us. So, if you're a coach, if you're a consultant, if you're selling any type of information or digital products, then if you're not on YouTube, you're definitely missing out on a huge opportunity. There's other platforms out there. There's LinkedIn, there's Instagram, there's TikTok now, there's all these different platforms, but, you really can't sleep on YouTube, because I think that's where people are going for answers.
Nice. Thank you for that. And that's really great. And I really want to jump into the question. So if I wanted to start on YouTube, I've been doing it for a little bit myself, but for those that are watching, if they've never done YouTube ever, how do they even start and how do they start building an audience? Because I assume that's what people want when they go onto YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So when you start on YouTube, it can be a little bit daunting, right? There's so many different moving pieces. There's a lot of skills that you have to learn. You have to learn how to show up on camera, how to figure out lights, gear, camera, all these things. And so I think you just really have to start and be gracious with yourself that, the first few videos, maybe first couple dozen videos are not going to be perfect. They're not going to look like the videos that you consume today. Right? You're watching a lot of other experts out there and you're like, oh, my videos just don't look like that. If you start recording videos, you're like, it doesn't look as good as the guys that I watch. I'm not going to upload it. you just got to get those uploads out of the way. For me, like I just, with this channel that I have existing now, I just got to I think the first 100 uploads. And that's kind of like, yeah, thanks, man. That's like, it's actually like beyond all the other like, metrics, subscribers and view time and watch time and all that stuff. Like I just wanted to get to 100 uploads because I feel like, yeah, 100 uploads, I'm going to end up with a bunch of subscribers and all that stuff naturally, right? But for myself to learn, I think like 100 uploads is one of those numbers that are like, I just want to get 100 done and kind of look back at like my first videos compared to my, my recent ones. And you'll see all the sort of like all the different improvements. And so as long as your next video or the video you're working on is better than the previous ones, then yeah, I mean, you're growing, you're learning, right? It's not just subscribers either. Like with me creating content on YouTube, I've learned so much about public speaking, about, formatting my talks. Like I do a lot of virtual summits and conferences and speaking on stage when we could travel again. And so understanding that how to hold someone's attention, especially on YouTube, is a skill that I'm starting to really, be aware of. So even when I do calls and stuff like that, like I learned to cut out sort of like the fluff when I talk to someone, because when I create content on YouTube, you have to cut out the fluff because people don't really care. And you kind of start noticing things when you say something and you even like, you're doing like a virtual summit presentation or a webinar, you're like, I already said that, right? Why am I repeating that same thing? Right. So you have to, you learn to be really efficient with your messaging. So it's kind of a weird sort of like side effect of, something that I've learned while creating on YouTube. So going back to your question though, to get started, I would go to my FAQ. So if you're a coach, consultant, you have a website, or you have, sort of like a brochure or some type of, you look at your DMs or your emails and you can just kind of like write down the 10 most common questions that you get asked all the time and then answer them in a video and then upload them to YouTube. You'll find along the way as you upload more, then you're going to understand how the analytics work, right? How SEO works on YouTube and all those things. And initially you won't, right? Because it's an ocean of information. But the more you upload, the better you'll get. And the more you'll understand about how to get more views and how to get more reach with your videos.
Nice. And I love how you give that whole example of 100 videos, because I think that's a huge marker. Even for myself, when I coach people, I give them this challenge of having 100 conversations with 100 different people, right? So it goes to show that, just practice. And through practice, I'm a true believer of progression over perfection. Mm-hmm. And just to give you a bit of backstory about myself, it took me 2 years to upload my first YouTube video. I was too scared about the judgment. I didn't want to do it. And I'm sure maybe you've gone through something similar or know people who have, and really just getting out of your own way, right? And so to touch more on that, the content that you deliver, you mentioned that if people are asking you questions, go to those. And those are the great go-tos to start creating. What if you don't have anybody asking you questions and you're starting off on YouTube?
Yeah, good question, Alex. If you don't have anyone talking to you yet, then go to where there are similar conversations happening. So, whatever space you're in, right? So let's say you are a branding expert. That's what you do. Then go to other branding experts on YouTube. Go to the guys like Chris Do or something. Like just go to those big channels that have that content and just go through their comments and kind of see, right? Do a search and kind of see go on YouTube and do a search for your keywords that you want to rank for, right? If, you are teaching yoga or something like that, and you are trying to sell yoga courses online, go and do a search of yoga, like yoga at home or yoga for moms or yoga for kids. Like do a search and then see, like, you're going to see, then watch the videos, right? Consume content. You got to understand what everyone else is watching. And so that you can understand where you fit in. And then also understand what are other content creators in your space not addressing, right? So I see this all the time because I create a lot of content around live streaming. And so I'm very sensitive to what people are asking, because live streaming in my space, things move really quick, right? Like next week, there could be a new camera, or there could be like a new cable that does some crazy thing for live streamers, or there could be a new software, right? And so it's really easy to have new content all the time, because even in, I did a tutorial on like how to multi-stream like 6 months ago. Like, this is how you use this particular tool to show up on 5 different channels at the same time. But like 5 years, like 6 months ago, that was like really relevant. But now there's some new platforms and there's some new technology, so I can do another video, right? So I can do another video on that and then like update that video. But yeah, if you don't have an audience yet that's asking you questions, then go and see where the conversations are happening, and see where there are gaps, where there are questions that are not being addressed, and then create content around that. That's really the easiest way. So you can go on YouTube, you can go on blogs, you can go on Facebook groups, you can go on Quora or Reddit, and people are asking questions all the time. So and then you can also go on your own channels, right? So if you have a Facebook page or you have Instagram, put up an Instagram story and say, hey guys, I'm creating a new tutorial on how to create, live streaming videos. Or hey guys, I'm creating a new tutorial video for my YouTube channel on how to bring a guest on my podcast, right? What questions do you guys have around that? And then ask them to DM you, right? And so that's a good way of also sort of testing like your idea. So usually I do stories on Instagram, and depending on the engagement that I get, because typically there's a bit of an overlap between other social channels, like audiences on, Instagram and my Facebook group and my YouTube channel. So I'll ask a question in one platform and see if there's interest, see if there's engagement, right? If there isn't, I'll kind of like, I'll like kind of sandbag that idea, and I'm like, okay, maybe that video is not a good idea. Let's try something else today, right? And so I create a little story. If there's a lot of engagement, a lot of comments, a lot of DMs, like, okay, this is a hot topic. Let's make an actual YouTube video about it. So it's kind of like shooting little bullets before, you shoot cannonballs. Really good book by Jim Collins. You got to test your ideas, right? And so rather than like, I'm just going to create this big video, it's going to be like 15 minutes long, it's going to take me a day to edit. I'm not sure if that's a good video. I don't know if my audience will like really pick that up or it'll speak to them. So let me make a quick 15-second Instagram story first. If they show interest in that, then I'll consider making the video for YouTube. So yeah, look at other communities, look at other circles, and read the comments there, and then see where the gap is, where you can answer that in a video.
Nice. I love that. And I've heard and talked to many people who talk about writer's block or creator's block, and they keep telling me, oh, I don't know what to talk about. But as you've put it, there's content everywhere, and it's just looking for those gaps and really seeing where you can give value. And I guess to talk more about that, if you wanted to get more reassurance, I mean, you're going to create a video that takes, for some people, 3 days to make. And once you get pretty good, maybe a day. So putting all that energy and time into it to get that reassurance, what else would you give yourself or show yourself? Or what do you have to do to get that reassurance to know that what I'm making is something that people actually want to read or listen to?
Yeah, good question, Alex. Like, so there's a lot of people that, like, as a YouTube creator, you have to understand, I get, like, you have to be really clear on who you're making that video for. So if you're making, you're making it for potential clients or people that you want to work with. If you're a business, if you're B2B, or if you're a coach, consultant right now, entrepreneur. And so obviously you want potential customers to be picking up your videos, to be subscribing to you and all that stuff. So, but you have to understand too, like, are you creating videos for your existing subscribers, or are you trying to create videos for people that don't know you yet? And so that's really more of a question of what you do with the video when you upload it, not really too much about what the video is. So I think if you guys are losing me, what I mean by that is that, let's say you're creating a tutorial on how to live stream or how to start a podcast. That video is going to be the same, right? It's going to be what it is. You're going to bring value because you're basically teaching people how to start a podcast. So here's the gear. Here's the software you want to use, Anchor or whatever it is. And here is a sort of like a bullet point, sort of like a blueprint of what a show would look like: introduction, guest introduction, the value, and then like the call to action at the end, right? So you've got like a basics of like how to start a podcast. So that's going to be really good for your audience if that's what your audience is interested in, but also it's going to be really good for new people, right? People that don't know you. And that's what you want on YouTube. You want to make sure that you are capturing people that don't know you yet. So you always want to be growing your audience. If you're a vlog, now, if you're a vlog, if you're a travel vlogger, you're a lifestyle person, then you're relying a lot on your subscribers, right? So you want to grow your subscribers because they're gravitating to you because they're more, they're following you because of your lifestyle, because of your personality. You're more of like a personality rather than a resource where people are learning from you. You eventually become, if your channel like mine, people come to my channel because I'm a resource. Along this, like as they consume more of my content, then they get to understand me and get to know my personality. Then it's like that sort of, it's resource first and then personality next. Whereas if you're a vlogger or that sort of space, then you're a personality first and then you become a resource down the road, right? So like travel vloggers, for example, they'll monetize their channel because, they may sell like a course or something, but you kind of gravitate to them first because it's like, oh, this guy's like traveling through Asia, pretty cool. I want to do that someday. Let me subscribe to him, right? So again, going back to your question, because I tend to have really long answers, Alex, for short questions, but I would say that do your keyword research first, right? So you don't want to be creating a video and then trying to smash it into a keyword that ends up very competitive, especially if you're starting out, right? So be very careful with that. So I used to do that a lot. Like when I first started my channel, I would just create videos on what I felt like, hey, people are asking about this. Let me make a video on that. And then I would make the video. I'd spend a day making a video, editing and all that stuff. And then I would try to do my keyword research. I'm like, oh man, all the keywords for this video are too competitive. They're being like dominated by bigger channels. And so I really flipped that around. I would say probably 9 months ago. And I did my keyword research first. So I'd spend, a good couple hours researching different keywords and saying like, okay, this keyword, although it's not as much search, not as many people are watching videos or searching this keyword, it's still pretty decent for my channel size. And I can actually show up on, in the search results for this keyword. So let's do that, right? And so you build on that, your channel gets bigger and bigger, more views, has more authority, and then you can start going after more competitive keywords that has more searches. And so that's just really how it is. It's just a game, right? Like YouTube is just a game, and you have to earn your right to show up and go after more competitive keywords. And so you don't really want to show up in a big keyword anyway that's really competitive, because your video, like your video skills and your content creation skills may not be up to par to all the other videos that are showing up in the first page of that keyword. And so even though you show up, like your video gets suggested and shows up, when people start watching it, they're like, this guy's not really answering my question. The quality of his videos is not really up to par with the rest of the videos on this page. So really take a step back. Be patient, do your keyword research, and just look at other content, other channels, and see where your opportunity is, in that space, in that niche.
Nice. Thank you for that. And so what I heard from there is really three things: keyword, content, and conciseness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cut the fluff, get to the point, make sure your content is there. And as for the keywords, I mean, for those who don't or who aren't familiar with YouTube, what is a keyword, and how do you know if you have the right keyword or what's the wrong one?
Yeah. So keyword is basically what people are searching. So, whatever you put into the YouTube search bar or the Google search bar or the Chrome search bar, that's what a keyword is. And so, so you have to, again, the way that so again, this is not a plug, but this is just like how I do it with TubeBuddy. And then, as you know, Keyword Explorer, right? So the thing with YouTube is that YouTube is really good with giving you a ton of data. Now, if you don't know what the data tells you, it's really useless. And so that's kind of what a big part of what TubeBuddy is that we have a tool called Keyword Explorer. And Keyword Explorer literally will give you a score from 0 to 100 of how like if that keyword is a good keyword for your channel specifically, not just a good keyword in general. It'll tell you that too, but it will actually give you a score based on your channel. So Alex, for you, you may have, you know, coaching for entrepreneurs or coaching for, you know, C-level, you know, executives, right? That might be a really good keyword for you. But for me, it's probably not a good keyword because I don't talk about coaching. I don't talk to, you know, C-level specifically, you know. So that's what I do. I use TubeBuddy for that, to understand, okay, this keyword is good, this keyword is not good. Okay, let's use this keyword. And you know, keywords are really specific too. I mean, you know, YouTube is so specific. There's so many different nuances of how you spell something or like the order of words. It's really important. So yeah, gives you all that. So that's where I would go. That's where I usually start.
Nice. Thank you for that. And yes, I am familiar with it. If you haven't tried TubeBuddy, again, this is not a plug, guys, not promoted by TubeBuddy,
Yeah.
but keyword, oh my God, what an awesome tool that they've given to me. And it's helped me so much. And speaking of uploads, okay,
Mhm.
so we have content creators listening in here. If they want to upload, how do they know if, you know, once a week is enough, 2 times a week is enough? Like, what's the frequency that they need to be at?
Yeah, good question. I thought about that a lot until actually 2, 3 weeks ago. There's a channel, so you guys go check out this channel. It's called Video Insider. It's run by YouTube guys, pretty sure. There's a guy named Tom, who's kind of the face of this channel, and each week they just kind of give you like these like mind-blowing tips on straight from inside YouTube of like how to, you know, how to basically grow your channel. And so yeah, so there's a couple weeks ago there was a tip that they shared. They asked like, how would you know, yeah, exactly this question, how would you know that you're uploading too much or not enough? And so there's actually there's a statistic inside of your analytics that tells you the average view per viewer each week. And yeah, that's the number you look at. So mine, I think a couple of days ago was like 1.3. So what that means, Alex, is that you know, on average, a viewer or subscriber on my channel watches 1.3 videos each week. And so that tells me that there's an appetite for me to upload up to 2 videos a week. Does that make sense? Because they're watching like one and a bit of videos. So if I upload 2 videos, they'll watch one of them plus a little bit of the second one on average. Some people more, some people less, but that's exactly what it is. There's other people out there that after I uploaded this video, because I made a tutorial on it, some guys like, actually, my number is like 4.5. I'm like, oh, sweet, man. So like upload 5 videos a week if you want, you know. Those are usually daily vloggers, you know, those kind of guys, you know, news kind of channels. You know, people are binge watching like really short, like 2-3 minute videos on their channels. And so yeah, that's a really good stat. You can find it inside your analytics. I mean, you don't have to pay for anything for that. That's just there for you. And that's where you would go. Now you have to make sure, because there's some people that are uploading, you know, 3-4 times a week, and their average view per viewer is like less than 1. So if that's you, then cut down the uploads, focus on one solid upload each week, focus on the keyword research, your thumbnails, your editing, like make it really engaging, you know, quick moving videos that keep people's attention, you know, and just make sure you get that number up, right? So it's not about like how many people, like it's like there's so many statistics out there. There's so many analytics that you need to pay attention to, but that's one for sure that's really important. And then the other one, Alex, is watch time. So it's not just good enough to get views. Views are cool, but if people are going and watching your video, but they're not watching much of it, they're not watching like 30, 40, 50% of your videos on average, then that video is going to drop in rankings and YouTube is going to start sharing that less. So you're going to kind of see that like that video kind of die off, you know? So yeah, so views are cool, but make sure that your videos are quality so that they get people to watch as much of it as possible.
Awesome. That's a great answer. And for those of you who want to know more, I believe you said somewhere in there, you made a video of that. I will put the link
Yeah,
in the description
cool, man.
below.
Yep.
So I'll make sure that everybody gets that. And I guess my next question would be duration of the videos. Because I mean,
Mm.
yes, we want as much view time as possible and get people to watch the entirety of our videos.
Yeah.
But how long is too long typically, or what's that stat look like?
Yeah, it's a good question. Right now, yeah. I mean, if you go to YouTube, there's a retention analyzer, so you can actually see where people drop off on your videos on average. And so you do have to wait, I think, a day or two after you upload to get that number. But yeah, as far as how long the video, so that's the first part of the question. How long should a video be? The video can be as long as you want, but as short as possible, if that makes sense. So make it as long as you want. You can make a video 20 minutes long. I mean, I know some channels, their top watched videos, top viewed videos are like 25 minutes long. It's a tutorial, so yeah, do it as long as you want, but make it as short as possible. So don't make it longer than it needs to, just so that you can like say that you've made a 20-minute video when that video could be like 4 minutes long. That really comes down to your editing, and the more videos you make, the better you become at that. The more critical you become with your editing. Like for me, I would say like on average on editing, I'd say like maybe 3 or 4 hours after I film the video, because I'm kind of going through it over and over, and that's for like a video that's like maybe 8 minutes long. I will cut it down from like 12, 13, 14 minutes. And I'm like, cut it down to like 6, 7 minutes. And then that way it's just like every second has value. And it's not just me like, by the way, again, let me repeat this thing, it's just like, dude, you already said that earlier. Like, just get to it, like, hey guys, this is, in this video, also in my introduction, I've learned to really cut down my introduction. My introductions used to be super long. Like, hey guys, my name is Rob Balasabas. I'm the tubebuddy, brand evangelist. I'm here in Vancouver, with my kids and family. And it's like, people don't care, right? Because I'm looking at my analytics, and most of my traffic and my views are coming from people that don't know me. Right. And so as important as it is, like, we've been taught growing up that you need to have an introduction. When you do a presentation, you're like, make a friend first, make a friend, right? Like, tell them about you, have a connection. That's just not how it works on YouTube. I've learned people just like, they have a question. How do you start a podcast? Okay. Like, this guy's video showed up. I click into it and he doesn't answer that question until like the 3-minute mark. I'm just like, I'm done. I'm already out of that video. Right. And so I've learned to really cut down my introduction to the point where I don't even say my name anymore. So I'm just like, hey guys, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to start a podcast. Let's get started. And then, so what I'll do is maybe in the bottom, in the lower third, I may have my name, and I may have a little like subscribe, like animation. And that communicates that part. Like, hey, this is Rob Balasabas. Subscribe. Okay, cool. I'm watching him. I can subscribe and click like while I'm watching. And so that cuts out like, 20, 30 seconds of that introduction. And so if they click on the video, how do you start a podcast? It plays. And right away, I'm like, hey guys, this is how you start a podcast. Let me show you my screen and the tools that I use. They're not going to leave. They're less likely to leave. Right. So hopefully that answers your question. It's a really long answer again.
No, it was really great. And basically it comes back to the point of being concise, right? Cutting out the fluff, giving them what they want as fast as you can. And the more you do that, I feel that they'll get to know you better, like, know, and trust you to the point where your name just rolls off their tongue eventually, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sweet. These are such great tips. And I hope whoever's listening, you're going to take these to heart and know that, these aren't just small tips. These are huge things that will help your channels grow. And so I would love to jump to the next section of the podcast here, where I call it the rapid fire section. Okay. So for those of you who are listening, this is going to be a little bit of fun. I'm going to ask Rob a few questions and he's going to fill in the blank. Are you ready, Rob?
All right, let's go.
All right, let's do this. Question number 1. I know I've had a great video idea when?
I know when I've had a great video idea when it's been said a million times, like when people have come up to me and said like, hey, you should do a video on that. Or, I've always wanted to see a video on that. I've always wanted that answer. So
nice. Awesome. The misconception about YouTube is?
The misconception about YouTube is that it's easy. You see a lot of influencers, and these people, in rented boats and cars and stuff. And you're like, oh man, so easy, which really sets you up for failure, because it's definitely not. It's a grind.
Awesome. Great answer. The biggest lesson I learned about content creation in the last 12 months was?
Yeah. So yeah, I touched on this earlier, is really understand your audience and test your content before you create a longer form of that content. So just going back to use stories to test your content. If people like it, then go and create a video on YouTube or LinkedIn, wherever, but test your content.
Nice, thanks. 3 traits of a successful YouTuber is, or are?
Three. Okay. I would say patience, right? YouTube is patience. You got, it's a long haul, also creativity, you got to be able to think outside the box. And also, I would say the ability to network, collaborations. A lot of people not enough people talk about it, but there's so much to be gained by collaborating with people in your space, like people that you might consider competitors. YouTube is so big. There's enough clients for everyone that you should just collaborate, not compete.
Nice. Awesome. And finally, I know I've made it big when...
I know I've made it big when YouTube features me, I would say. When YouTube features you in their videos, because they do that on a weekly basis. I feel like I've made it on YouTube. And that
awesome.
happens. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Rob. So for those of you who are tuning in, Rob Balasabas, everybody, I will put his links in the description below. Make sure you check him out. He has so many great content videos made. So make sure you check that out. And I want to say thanks for being on the show.
Alex, thank you so much. See you, everyone.
All right, take care. Hey guys, Alex here. Thank you for stopping by my channel. If you're a coach, if you're an entrepreneur, or even a creator, you've come to the right place. Here, we talk about creation, we talk about business, and we talk about coaching. And I'm creating all these resources just for people like yourself so that you can up your game and make your business even better. If you really like this content, make sure you hit that subscribe button below right here and that notification bell so you know exactly when my next video is going to be released. And if you find it useful, share it with somebody that you know, like, or trust. So have a great day, stay amazing, stay blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.